This woman writes, my partner who's 26 broke up with me. She's 27 over cheating suspicions that are not true. Well, maybe you dodge a bullet, you know? So it's like, well, usually people who have these kind of reactions and these kind of suspicions often have negative beliefs towards relationships, and you don't necessarily want to really have a sustained long-term relationship with them in the first place. So this might be a blessing in disguise. In this post, she says, my boyfriend and partner of 7 years broke up with me. That does suck, though. That's a long commitment. That's a long time to be with another person. You're really emotionally invested with that other person. You've been through a lot together. Your identities are often tied together when you've been together that long. So I'm wondering if this was an accumulation of a lot of things, and then basically this accusation of you cheating was kind of the thing that just kind of like the piece of straw that broke the horse's back, if you will. Because he says he had suspicions that I was cheating on him with a man who lives in the same building as me. We have sent texts between each other, but it was never flirtatious, and the guy runs our building, so I have to communicate with him. My partner claims that he had, okay, so also what does that say? It's like, okay, you might be taking care of, the household. You might be basically running the things. You might be taking charge. And so the dynamic might be a little bit off in regards to that. It's like you might not be feeling that he's handling himself in a strong masculine way. He's not really taking care of the details. Just it's a possibility. That's kind of just what kind of brings up that possibility in me when I read that. My partner claims that he had suspicions about me cheating with this guy, and he asked the guy what's happening, and he supposedly told him everything. Yeah, the guy's probably fucking with him. After the breakup, I confronted the other guy to find out what exactly he told my boyfriend that caused him to get so upset to the point that he broke up with me, and he claims that he has never spoken to him. And he would never do anything to compromise a relationship. Yeah, right. If he's kind of lying about even talking to the guy, maybe this guy does have an ulterior motives, and there is something that maybe he is interested in her. The boyfriend picks up on this, but now he is kind of making it into a bigger deal because he got all upset or fearful because the guy acted in a way that, again, they like tried to mess with him as far as like him thinking that something's going on kind of deal. Now I don't know who to believe or what to do. Any suggestions on how to tackle this, because it feels like I'm being accused of something I did not do? Well, you stated, well, I really didn't do it. And it's like sometimes the more we put effort into convincing the other person, the more it seems like it's not true, or we're making something up, or we're lying, or we're hiding something. And so it's like, well, state that it's not true and then walk away and give them that distance to really think about the situation, kind of come and settle down, and come to the realization of nothing really happened. Any suggestions on how to tackle this? Because it feels like, yeah, okay. And my partner does not want to talk to me and just keeps saying I'm going to make excuses, and he does not want to hear it. Well, ask him, what kind of evidence do you have? I mean, it's like, I really didn't do this. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from in this, because I'd really like to know what kind of your thought process is. I'd really just like to understand this so I can kind of figure this out in myself, and just kind of like, handle this in a way that we both can kind of benefit, come to like the clear picture of what's going on, because it's like, really, I really did not do anything. Yeah, okay. And then if that's the case, then it's like once you state something like that and then he denies it, it's like, well, you walk away. And then you let him come to you and you say, hey, well, because sometimes that space is going to be the thing that kind of clears everything up, maybe causes the state that he's in that particular moment. It's like oftentimes we act out of the states we're in a particular moment. And that really shapes the meaning that we assign to things. So it's like maybe he was really pissed off when he talked to that guy, and then the guy just said something to trigger him, and he interpreted that you're cheating, and that's true. And then he had this blow up thing. It's just all big emotional reaction. So state that it's not true. See if you can get him to talk, see where he's coming from. Hear him out. Don't combat him. Say you're insult him for basically coming to these conclusions. And then once you made it clear that, hey, I didn't do anything, you walk away and you let him cool down, and then you let him come to you. And then you talk about it and you apologize to each other and say, because you got to take responsibility for this as well. You can't just say, oh, it's not true, so therefore it's his fault. You can't do that either. It's like, well, what was it that really triggered me for him to feel this way? How am I acting? Am I actually flirting with these guys? What is the case? How could I basically better myself in this relationship? How can I take responsibility for this so I can improve and become stronger as far as a person and stronger in this relationship? But that space is really what you got to give him.